Morning, guys. Mr. T here. This morning we're going to be talking about glass. Glass is one of the most popular things we do in our program at Cedar Hill. Today I want us to learn a little bit about something called glass blowing and about a famous artist named Chihuly who does this. Now, we know with glass fusing, you take two or more pieces of glass and you melt them together in the kiln to make different types of items. And all, first through fifth grade do this. Everybody does two projects, and it's a lot of fun. Uh, Another way to make art with glass is something called glass blowing. I want you to watch the next video as it gives you a demonstration of how glass blowing works. Okay, we're going to watch an artist make a glass pitcher using glass blowing. They add some glass to the furnace, heat it. Then they put the glass on the end of a metal pole that's hollow on the inside. Now the artist will blow into this pole and make the glass on the other end expand. Here, the artist is adding some bits of color, goes back into the furnace to heat back up. And when they take it out, they'll begin shaping it using the table and tools. Then they will continue to blow into the pipe to expand the glass from the inside, finally putting it into a mold to help give it part of the shape. Artist continues to blow to make it bigger, and as it comes out, we can see it's beginning to get the shape it needs. Back into the furnace to heat the glass up again. When it comes out, he'll continue to shape it, making the opening, and adding the funnel to the pitcher. Then once he finishes that, he's going to take another hunk of hot glass and add to it to make a handle. So the handle goes on there and is attached. The glass sticks to each other because it's still hot, and they'll use tools to shape the handle into what they want it to be. Once it's all finished, the artist will remove the glass from the metal pole, and then we'll have a finished piece of beautiful art. A number of years ago, we added glass fusing as part of our processes in the art department at Cedar Hill Elementary, and it's become one of the most popular things we do. And even though glass fusing and glass blowing are not the same, you can achieve some similar results with it. One of the people that we use for inspiration for our glass projects at Cedar Hill is a guy named Dale Chihuly. Dale Chihuly is currently the most popular artist in the world, and he's taken glass blowing to a level that no one ever has before. It made it a very high art form out of it. Dale Chihuly was born in Tacoma, Washington in 1941. He grew up there and he attended college at the University of Washington, studying interior design. This is where he was first introduced to glass blowing in one of his classes there. In 1968, Chihuly was awarded a Fulbright Fellowship to work at a glass factory in Venice, Italy. While he was there, he learned the team approach to glass blowing, and that's how he works today. In 1974, while riding a car in London, England, Dale Chihuly was in a car accident, and as a result of that accident, he lost his left eye, making it difficult for him to do glass because he didn't have any peripheral vision. At that point, he saw the need to include more people in a team to help him create his glass productions. Chihuly continued to build his glass vision and to expand and explore the things he could do with it, and as he did, his fame grew. Chihuly did a glass show in Venice and made a lot of large glass orbs and set them free floating in the canals. Well, the boys of Venice caught these floating pieces of glass and put them in one of the boats there. And Chihuly liked the idea so much he began incorporating it in all of his shows. These days, Chihuly does very little glass blowing himself, but instead has a team of some of the best glass blowers in the world that he directs. So it's their work, but it's all Chihuly's vision. Through the years, Chihuly's vision and ideas have grown and expanded. He's gone from doing things that look like flowers to things that look like sea forms. He did a series of bowls he called Makia. Uh, as his vision changes, so does his work. As Chihuly's fame has grown, so has the calls for him to do work for commercial buildings. Here we see Chihuly with flowers he made for the lobby of the Bellagio Resort in Las Vegas. Here we see a much younger Del Chihuly working on his glass blowing, perfecting the craft. Also pictured is one of the Macchio bowls that he became so famous for. Today, Chihuly is one of the most famous artists in the world, and he's frequently featured in newspapers, magazines, and on TV. Uh, Next, we're going to see a video from CBS morning show on Chihuly.
Intense color, bursts of movement, shapes which seem to dance, yet remain suspended in time. The style could belong to just one man, Dale Chihuly. It's here at Chihuly's Boathouse Studio on the banks of Seattle's Lake Union that his Technicolor visions come to life, and where I came to do something I've always wanted to, get a lesson in the ancient art of glass blowing from the revolutionary artist himself.
We're gonna have you blow a piece of glass?
I'm gonna try.
All right.
Chihuly's designs are unmistakable. In just a few decades, he's breathed new life into an art that was largely unchanged for thousands of years. Yet his own view was dramatically altered more than 30 years ago after a car accident left him blind in one eye.
You don't have any depth perception, is that correct?
Well, yeah, I have no depth perception and no peripheral vision. That's the main reason why I quit blowing glass myself. As the pieces got bigger and the team got more complicated, I felt like pulling back away from the making of it.
But he is still very much in charge of each creation. Every piece begins with his vision, first as a painting, a blueprint for his team of skilled artists.
God, I think that might be enough. That's enough.
In just the last decade, Chihuly has staged nearly 100 shows and installations around the world. From hotels to museums, even the great outdoors. He continues to push the boundaries.
How much of glass blowing is the creativity that people have within them, and how much of it is learned?
It's one thing to make it as a craft, to make beautiful objects that are, say, functional. But to make it as art, you have to make something that nobody's ever seen before.
Maybe bring that one in a little bit.
After nearly 4 decades, Chihuly remains one of the best teachers of this craft. And on this day, I am his student.
You're up.
All right. Do I need any protective gear?
Go ahead, try it. Here, take these.
Okay.
The heat is intense, though it should be when you're using an oven at 2100 degrees. With the molten glass nearly flowing off the rod, my first piece finds some definition in a mold.
Okay, I'll go ahead and blow. Blow hard. Good. Stop.
The glass will require several more bursts of air, each observed and measured by my world-renowned coach.
There we go. Good job. Okay, slow it down just a little bit. Good.
Next up, color.
So Dale, what is this doing?
You're picking up some cobalt. They'll blow out. You'll be able to see the color a lot more.
It is a quick, coordinated effort. The glass has to keep moving, has to stay hot
Turn, turn, turn.
to maintain its shape.
You're doing it just right. Stop.
Before I know it, Dale and his team have helped me create a full collection. More beautiful than I'd hoped for, yet a far cry from the masterpieces this studio is known for.
We can't thank you enough. I have even more appreciation now. Thank you.
Wow. My pleasure.
Pleasure.
Thanks for coming.
This is a photograph from a show I attended of Dale Chihuly's at the Atlanta Botanical Gardens a couple of years ago, showing these boats and some of the floating orbs in a pond.
I woke up one morning with the idea that I would work with all 300 colors that were available to us, that we bought these color rods from Germany. And so I put one color on the inside, then sort of a translucent or opaque white in the middle, and then another color on the outside. And then there'd be a lip wrap color, usually contrasting to the either interior or exterior color.
Grab it.
Yes.
There is a never-ending potential for color with the macchia because there are so many different color layers and so many different colors available. We could never exhaust the color possibilities with macchia.
Here's an overhead view of Dale Chihuly's current workshop in Seattle. He calls the boathouse, and he allows people to come in and watch him and his team work. As you can see, there's a section for the audience. This summer, you can get a chance to see Dale Chihuly's work for yourself. The Cheekwood Art Museum and Botanical Gardens in Nashville, Tennessee is going to be hosting a show by Dale Chihuly from July 18th into January 10th. It's well worth your time if you want to go see it. I've seen a number of Chihuly shows, and they're always amazing. And Chihuly is maquia bowls. It's one of the things we do at Cedar Hill. Our first graders make them, and at Clay Camp, the fifth graders make them. I want to show you an example of what some of them look like. Now, while they're not quite as fancy as the one Chihuly does, the ones our kids turn out look very good. And what they are is like a double piece of glass. And like Chihuly, we use one color on the inside, another color on the outside. We fuse them together. We put them on a mold. Let's look at some of our kids making these. Here's some examples of some of the maquia bows that some of our kids have made. Here we can see our kids beginning with one color, then they'll add another color in blocks on it before they're fired. Once the pieces are fired flat, they go back to the kiln a second time over a mold that they're going to melt and go down the sides of to get the shape. From this angle, you can see the flat pieces sitting on top of the metal molds, waiting on the heat from the kiln. Once the kiln is run, the heat has made the glass soft again, and it goes down the sides to create the shape. Here's some of the finished pieces our kids have made, showing the pieces and the kids how proud they are of them. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed learning about Dale Chihuly. With him being in Nashville this summer, it'd be a great chance for you to go see some of his artwork. I'm going to have his website listed after this slide and the website for the Cheekwood Museum of Art, so you can find more about that. Last May, our first graders wrote letters and drew pictures and sent to Dale Chihuly to tell him how they enjoyed learning about him. And we sent photographs of some of the art that the kids had made, and we invited him to visit us at school. Of course, that's not been able to happen, but he did send us a box filled with books and videos of his, probably about $500 worth that he shared with the school. So he's a big supporter of education. So if you get a chance this summer, check him out at Cheekwood. If not, you go on the website and look. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll look forward to seeing you guys soon. Talk to you later. Mr. T out.